I was so excited when I heard I was going to get the chance to talk to Evelyn on her podcast, especially because I had just done a lot of interviews for Sweet Tooth, and really Evelyn's podcast is at such a high caliber that I was just excited for the conversation, but I was also super nervous because I know that there are so many in-depth questions that she has, and I just felt like I needed to bring my A game. I had so much fun. I really felt like I was sitting down with one of my good friends with a glass of wine and just breaking it all down, having a conversation. And I love that. I love when you get to have these conversations where at the end of the day, you don't even remember what you talked about, but you just remember how you felt. And I remember after our recording of that episode, I just felt so energized and I was so excited to hear it back. I was actually super surprised at how many topics we ended up going through. But I loved it. It was so nice. There was so many incredible moments that I got to laugh back at because we were having so much fun that I completely forgot that we had all these jokes and all these moments that we shared. So it was really fun for me. I love when you get to listen back to an episode and not feel like you were just saying the same old thing in every single interview, but you actually got to show a little bit of who you are. And I think that's something special that Evelyn manages to get out of you. My favorite story about a conversation that we had in the episode was when we actually got on the topic of apologizing and admitting when you're wrong as a person and how it related to one of the characters I played. It was so not something I ever planned on talking about. It just came off the top of my head. And when you're doing interviews for shows, it's so easy to have the same stories that you know that you want to highlight because you believe in the show. But when you get to express a new thought or a new idea right then in the moment, it can be a little unnerving. But we just couldn't stop laughing. And we were both kind of surprised at the idea of admitting to ourselves of how hard it is to admit that when you are wrong. And for us, that was a humbling moment for me, and that was a moment that I got to share with a friend in a funny way. And on the Reppin podcast, you can kind of do that. You can kind of just break the mold a little bit. So that was really, really fun. It actually broke me out of my shell a little bit when it came to promoting Sweet Tooth and sharing another experience that I had privately in my own process. That was really special for me, and that's something that is specifically tied to the Reppin podcast that'll always hold a really, really soft spot in my heart. Something that Evelyn does for her podcast that is different than anyone else I have ever seen do is she likes to have a conversation with you before your episode, and she likes to have you ponder an idea about yourself and come up with a statement about who you are. And I was so nervous at first, and I really had to sit back and think on the question. And it made me realize that Evelyn likes to challenge her guests. She's not just there to say, hey, how are you? What are you up to? But more so, challenge you to answer the question of who are you? What are you about? What do you want people to know about you? And I think that's super cool. And I think audiences, when they go into that, knowing that they're going to see a different side of the person that they normally get to see on television or on film. That was really, really epic for me. And I think anyone else who plans to be on our podcast, look out, because Evelyn likes to challenge you a little bit. So have fun with it. Evelyn, congratulations on your 100th episode for the Reppin podcast. I am so happy that I got a chance to be on one of those episodes, and I can't wait for more. I know there's going to be more, and I look forward to hopefully our next episode. But in the meantime, I am going to enjoy all your other episodes. There's 100 of them, so there's a lot to get through. But congratulations, and I can't wait for more.